Hey, folks, just want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about Google Meet, which is the telecommunications, teleconferencing software we had through Google. Most of you have used it if you participated in any of the IEP meetings or anything like that. You used it a lot this summer. So let's just get into it. Go to meet.google.com. It'll bring you to their landing page. This always looks different. Don't worry if it doesn't look like mine. It's always different. It's just different weird arts they put out here. So click on join or start a meeting. Now, before we do this, students will only see join a meeting or enter meeting code, something like that. They can't start a meeting and they can't go into your meeting unless you've started it. So when you start the meeting, you give it a nickname, Ricketts. Now, I use first initial last name just because it's less confusing to the students each week. If we've got a class on Monday at 9 o'clock, they sign into meet.google.com at 9 o'clock on Monday and go to M. Ricketts, and it puts them in there. So let's just hide that. Let's go ahead and hit continue, and when you do, it brings you to a permissions page. And you give it permission whether or not to have your microphone on, your camera on. You can change some audio and video settings in here, which there's really no reason unless you're having problems with your audio or video. Then you have the two options to join. One is to join now, one is to present. I personally don't use present because you can't transition back to your camera. You can only present what you have on your screen. Whereas with join now, I can have my camera, I can present something. When I'm done presenting, I can come back to my camera. So let's go ahead and click join now, and it'll take us to the conference information screen. So you see your nickname, you see the link that you could send out that somebody could click on and come straight in here. If they don't have a computer, they can call this phone number and use this pin and join with audio. You can copy this joining information to drop in an email, or you can just send emails from within this, like if they're in your address book. I'm going to send one to my student account, and I just sent an invitation to this meet. Across the bottom, you'll see some options. This again is just the conference information. Mute your camera. You can turn on captions and present now. Let's do captions first. When you turn on captions, it will take what you say and turn it into text for people to read. If you have a student that's hearing impaired, this may help them. Or if you have a student that's somewhere that they can't turn their audio on while they're trying to watch this Google Meet, this will put that information on the screen. It's not perfect. It's very good, but it is not perfect. So if you are doing this on a Meet and you see some kids making some faces like that, you may want to glance down and see what captions just said. I'm going to go ahead and turn them off now. As I told you before, why I don't use present is now I'm on my camera. I can present from inside this. Click present. Oh, I moved my picture there. I will say a Chrome tab, and I'm going to present this one and share. Now, it'll show here that I'm presenting, but let me pin that window. It would actually show this. I have 3 screens here. But you can go over to the screen you're showing. You can do whatever you need to do. And when you're finished, it says you're presenting. It's just stop presenting. And you're back to your camera. You can continue your class. And that's why I don't use present. Present, it may work for you. It doesn't work for me. Okay, so the next thing we need to look at is who's in your call. You want to see who's here? Click on show everyone, and it'll put a list of everybody that's in the call. Now, when you're in here and you see other people, you have the option to mute them. You have the option to kick them off the call. When you mute them, they have to unmute themselves. You can't unmute them once you put them in a mute status. But it's still a good feature. You may want to ask your students to enter the room muted. And if they have questions, use chat. Chat is up here, and you click on that. And once you have that up, you can continue speaking, saying whatever you need to your class. And if they have a question, they can just type in their question. And it appears on my screen. I don't have to stop. But then when I see the question over to the side, I see it, but all the students see it. So they know what was asked. It's not one of these things like, what did he say or what she said? You see the question, and you address the question there. If everybody's microphone's on, every time somebody coughs, hiccups, knocks, drops something, whatever, it's going to shift to their camera. Also, if two people try to talk at the same time, it's going to distort. So using chat to ask your questions is a very good way to do this. It's just very simple. Now, another thing, you will have students from time to time that can't come to your classroom. They can't come to a meet at the time you need to. There's another great feature here called Record Meeting. You can click on this and it asks for your consent, and when you accept, everyone will know you're recording because in this top left corner you get this nice red circle. Now, when you click record, wait on that red circle to come up before you speak, or it won't record what you're saying. But it's really great because it puts it in your Google Drive as soon as you end this call. And well, I say that it'll take it about 30 minutes to end up in your Google Drive, but you can send students that missed the call the link, or you can put it in Google Classroom as a link and have them mark completed after they've attended that. And there's some tools we'll talk about using later, like Edpuzzle, where you can embed some questions in something. So if they mark it as complete, you see if they answered the questions while the video was going on, and know that they couldn't possibly have watched it because it won't let you go any further till you answer the question. That's a great tool, but we can use this to do that. So let me go ahead and turn this off. The other option under here, let's say stop recording, and it says it will be saved to the Google Drive. When you click on other options, the only other one I really use in here is change layout, and I don't use it much. I leave it on auto most of the time. But if you have multiple people, you could put them in tiles, or you could put everybody down the side, especially if someone's presenting a screen, then you could have all the people down the side and have the screen that's being presented on the larger screen. That's pretty much it. That, you get people in, you talk to them. Well, I say that's pretty much it. Let me say this. When you're finished, tell your students together to all click on that red phone. Don't click it yourself. Just ask them to click it. And when they're all gone, and you'll have 2 or 3 that aren't gone because they're not listening, they're just letting it run, go over there into the people tab, and you can kick them out of the room, and then make sure everybody is out before you end your call. Because when you end your call, if they're still in there, they can stay in that room and talk. Not that they could do anything, but I mean, they could continue in there and make noise and say whatever they want to say. It's just better to make sure they're out of there, and then you get out and you're done, because they can't go back in once you're out until you restart the class the next Monday or Wednesday, or if you do it every day. And I mean, it's just a great way to control access in and out. I want to apologize on this video a little bit, especially doing Meet, since it was a recording of a recording. It's got my camera here and it had it here. The lips won't match up on that. Normally, I try to match that up, but if I match one, then the other doesn't match. So I'm going to leave it like it is. If you've got questions, write them down. I'll announce when the live meeting is as soon as possible, and we will get together and you can ask your questions. We'll have a little Google Meet, and we'll just play with some of the options. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the live meet, and I look forward to making the other videos for you as well. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.